Okay, welcome everyone to the first fan channel. What would you call it? Pre-game show. We didn't do one for the first home game, but we're going to do them for away games in particular for the Bluebell Terrace. So welcome along. Delighted to have Frenchy alongside me, and we're doing a pre-game show for Yate Town versus Chippenham. And I'm delighted to welcome Aaron from the Sheldon End, who is a Chippenham fan, and he's got his own fan page. So I'll just pull him in now.
Hi, gents.
Aaron,
how are you?
Welcome. Yeah, very well. How are you?
Aaron. All good. All good. Happy to be here.
Do you want to just drop me a little plug in for your fan channel or page?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I'm Aaron, but I go as the Sheldon End on Twitter /X, whatever anyone wants to call it these days. It's basically just my safe space to talk about Chippenham more freely than on my main account. But it's been going for a few years now, and it's started when we were during COVID. I started the account, but I've been a supporter longer than that, and I've seen us from the highs of National League South playoffs now to being back in the Southern League.
Yeah, well, welcome to the fun and games of the Southern League. Obviously, we're delighted to be there as Yate Town. Obviously, we're somewhat punching probably a little bit, but it's well deserved. Obviously, we stayed up last season, so that's really good. So yeah, I'll start us off by talking about the results from the first game. Pop that up now. Just pull this up. So, French, do you want to just chat us through a few of these results?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of standout results there. Gloucester City at home against Chertsey Town. Obviously, Gloucester City were in the playoffs last year as well. First home game, and I mean, look at their attendance as well, 1,065, which is a big attendance for this league. And then, yeah, lost against Chertsey. Chertsey had a good end of the season, though, last season, didn't they, George? So, yeah, bit of a surprise, but yeah, you could have. I wouldn't have, betted against Chertsey anyway. So, massive standout result there, though, is Plymouth Parkway 7, Bracknell Town 0. Obviously at home, Plymouth Parkway, but to score 7 in this league, they've done well there, haven't they?
Yeah, they obviously had they were in the relegation for a lot of last season, weren't they? And then they just picked up towards back in the last season, obviously carrying that on into this season, which is pretty impressive. Yeah,
definitely. And then, sorry, Aaron, I'm going to have to use your team next. But yeah, Chippenham Town obviously losing at Uxbridge, coming down from last season, and obviously you had a sending off as well, didn't you? I don't know whether we'll go into that result into the next bit, but
yeah, I mean, we can probably save it for then, maybe a bit more of a deep dive. But I think it's going to be the way we are in a few of these early games as one of the teams that relegated from Step 2. We're going to have a little bit of a target on our backs until people figure out probably where we actually are in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I mean, that Plymouth result, I don't think too many people saw that coming. I know. I'll admit, for the past few years, I haven't been keeping too much of an eye on the Southern League because it's kind of like I know it's there, I know it exists, I spent a lot of time in it, but don't want to manifest anything. But yeah, here we are again. But I do know enough that Bracknell were a little bit of a basket case. Having seen the amount of players I think I saw a figure like 28 new players that have come in the past year or so, maybe even less than that. And maybe that showed with. I mean, 7-0 is not the way to start a season.
Well, the thing is, things can only get better, right?
I'm not a Bracknell fan, but I'd hope so for their sake. I feel like they're going to come up against stronger opposition than Plymouth Parkway. But hey, maybe Plymouth are these dark horses that no one saw coming, and they're going to smash everyone 7-0. But I'd be surprised if they get another one like that this year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think as well, Hamworth Villa, they came up last year, and I mean, they won 2-0 at Taunton Town against Taunton Town. Sorry, they were at home, but Taunton had a great end of the season last season as well. So yeah, big shout out to Hamworth Villa for that result. Did well there.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, that's probably enough for the results from the game week 1. So we'll move on to the main topic for Aaron, which is Chippenham Town. So Yeah, should we start off with, Aaron? Obviously, last season, bad season for you, getting relegated down with Bath City. We were surprised to see that. Obviously, Chippenham, established club, but I guess it happens to the best teams. Weymouth went down from our league last season. No one saw that coming. So, how do you fancy your chances this season as well?
It's an interesting one because I think every year in National League South you get the pre-season predictions and you'd always see Chippenham in the bottom four, and I think we just got to the stage where I wasn't seeing our name listed anymore, and then we got relegated. I feel like we'd just become established enough that we kind of escaped that pre-season prediction. But alas, we had a pretty poor season, mainly down to the start of the year. We just couldn't get any runs together, couldn't get any points on the board. I think we fell into the relegation zone at the end of August last year and never got out of it again. Our tail wagged a little bit towards the end of the year, but by then the damage was done, and we were relying on good favours from other teams, and you can't do that, especially in the National League South, which is at least during our 9 seasons we spent in the league, just ever more professionalised now. I think when we joined the league, there was only 2 pro sides, and we left it, and there was 11 or 12 that were either pro or hybrid. So already, as we were a semi-pro side last year, you're looking, in theory, if football was played on paper, to be the 13th best team at best, because you don't have the resources against them. This year we've gone for a hybrid model, which I think has taken a few by surprise, that we maybe didn't opt for that last year when we were in a league where there was more of those kind of setups. But I think we've had such a big turnover of players over the summer that it's still going to take a few weeks yet to bed in and see where we really lie. I don't think if I've seen, going back to pre-season predictions, I don't think I've seen too many tout us as being favourites or in the mix, which might well suit us come the end of the year. But obviously, as we've already touched on, it's not got off to the best of starts at the weekend. Kind of hinging on that red card after 30 minutes, we were on top, and then maybe we're not used to the dark arts of the Southern Premier League South again yet. But Oxford striker got a reaction out of our midfielder, and our midfielder bore the brunt of the referee's punishment.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I mean, it was a bit of a shock because I think we were expecting Chippenham to get off to a winning start, to be fair, albeit you're away from home. But I think any team that gets relegated, you're expecting them to sort of kick on and hit the ground running. But Uxbridge are no mugs. But they're a pretty good side. They were good last season, weren't they, Frenchie? So
yeah, they were.
Yeah, it's what it is, isn't it? It doesn't help when you get someone sent off after 30 minutes, like you say, and then you're always up against it, aren't you, to get a result? No,
absolutely. Especially with it was one of our more experienced players, still a young lad, a graduate of the academy, but he'd been in and around the first team for 3 or 4 years now. So in a team with such dramatic player turnover over the summer, to lose one of your more familiar faces 30 minutes into the season, in the heat of early August, with 10 men up against a side like Uxbridge, who are have been a group now for probably the best part of at least a season, maybe 18 months. They've got a good solid core there. It was always going to be an uphill battle from that point on.
Yeah, so you're not overly optimistic on your chances this season, then?
Well, I never said that, but no, it's I think it's definitely a tougher division than the one we left when we were promoted 10 years ago this season, with record points total. I'll always drop that in. But it's and you look at the team that came down with us in Bath, who are obviously, they're no mugs. They're obviously our local rivals, and they've done what they always do and signed our best player at the start of the season from last year. So it's going to be hard for us with such a big, I think, dramatic player turnover to maybe creep into those playoff spaces. But who knows? It's a long season. We just need to probably now just get that first win or first point off of our backs sooner rather than later. And hopefully for us, and maybe unfortunately for you guys, it comes on Tuesday night at home. But we'll see. You guys will be no mugs.
Yeah, well, we'll come on to the game after. I think we'll probably just move on to some players from Chippenham, and then we'll move on to to have a quick chat about yet. But I mean, I saw your captain. Is it Luke Haynes?
Yeah.
He was with you last season, wasn't he? So what do you think of him? And is there anyone in particular yet should be worried about from what you've seen already? I know, like you say, you've had a lot of turnover of players since last season, but I'd be interested to get your thoughts on like what we should be looking out for tomorrow night.
Absolutely. We'll start with Luke Haynes. He's our captain. He's stuck with us after relegation when quite a lot of players have obviously either jumped ship or gone to stay at the level. He could have quite easily done that. I think he's one of the better centre halves in this division. I think he just genuinely likes playing for Chippenham Town Football Club and being involved in this group. It's not just him that stuck around. We've got the same management team as we had last year, in fact, with one or two additions. So I kind of guess that leadership core of management and captain are still around, which will hopefully prove valuable as we kind of gel in this new squad. And yeah, he's a leader from the back. I wouldn't say he's an old school centre half for this level because he's got quite a lot of tactical nous. He'll willingly bring the ball forward. He'll shoot from halfway if there's the opportunity, that kind of thing. But no, he's certainly like the first name on the team sheet, as he would be with captain. Obviously, what a stupid thing to say, but he's that kind of player. Another man to watch will be someone you guys know all about. Will be Henry Sadie. Of course, we loaned him out to you guys in the tail end of last season. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he became quite a pivotal part of your end of season charge away from relegation zone. I think he could be a crucial player for us this year, especially now that he's got that little bit of experience in this division.
Yeah, I saw some of the fans. I had a quick look at some of your comments from. I always keep an eye on the next game and who's been commenting on the posts and whatnot. But obviously he got beat. But I did see that some people said that Henry was probably your standout player from that game. So yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. He's got that little bit of flair, which I think you need in any side. And he's still quite raw. Obviously, he's played a lot of football, but a lot of it has been lower than this level, especially definitely lower than step 2, lower than step 3, because we signed him from Melksham, who was step 4. So I think there's a lot of grit there to prove himself. That maybe he, one of these players that maybe didn't get picked up by an academy or carried through the system that has got something to prove, and maybe will be the beneficiaries of that. Who knows? I think he's still got a lot to learn, but yeah, he's definitely a talented player.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else to watch, in your opinion, from what you've seen so far? Like I say, I know you've had a lot of turnover. I don't know if you've made it to any pre-season games, but it'd be good to.
I didn't get to go to any pre-season games, but one name that did keep coming up was Joel Adelabi. He joined us towards the tail end of last season. We have quite a good academy system. We've brought a few players through that and developed them and sold them on to the EFL in recent seasons. We signed him, I believe in like January, February last year, and just had him around the first team environment. But he played a lot of academy games, and I believe he was our top scorer through pre-season. He can play out wide. He started out wide at the weekend away at Uxbridge, and then when we went down to 10 men, we brought him into the middle. He's got that little bit of pace to beat that last man. I think he's quite an exciting talent. He's only 20, 21. So a lot of, again, development to come through. But yeah, he's certainly a player that excites me.
Do you think that's where your goals are going to come from? Because obviously you said about the player turnover, and obviously you lost your top goal scorer last season, didn't you?
We did.
That's where we're going to come from.
I hope so. They've got to come from somewhere. Because one thing we struggled with last year was goals, and the main outlet of those was Harry Parsons, who has done the latest in a long line of players that have had successful seasons at Chippenham, and then gone up the A4 to Bath the very next year. So, and he scored the winner at the weekend late on as well for them away at Sholing. So he's carried on where he left off. We just need someone to fill those in. Another player, and could be a source of goals, he didn't play for us away at Uxbridge at the weekend, is Olaf Kotzela, who was with us last year, scored occasionally, but certainly not at the level he was the year before. We signed him from Dorchester, and I think he was the top goal scorer in this division that year, or in and amongst it in the battle for the Golden Boot. So hopefully now coming back down into this level, once he gets back to fitness, he can kick on again. He did score once or twice during pre-season too.
Happy days. Well, I think it sounds positive from a Yate Town perspective somewhat, because I think, it's always difficult to bring a squad together and then try and hit the ground running from the get-go. So it's interesting to hear that obviously there's been quite a bit of turnover at the club, and I did sort of see a bit about that, but it sounds like it's maybe more than I was anticipating. So I think that probably brings us nicely onto talking about Yate. Obviously, I don't know what you sort of seeing from Yate, but I don't know, Frenchie, do you want to give a bit of an overview in terms of generally around Yate back in the last season?
Yeah, I mean, outstanding start of the season, wasn't it, to win 1-0? I mean, unfortunately, me and George, neither of us made it to the game on Saturday. But from what I've seen, outstanding performance to win 1-0 against Gosport, who finished 8th last season. Very strong team. And Marlon Jackson scored the goal. He'd had an outstanding end of the season last season as well. So, yeah, great all-in-all performance, I would say. Nice to get 3 points on the board.
Yeah, and obviously last season, Marlon had a great season, and he's obviously carried it on this season. So he's one to watch, I'd say, Aaron, in terms of a threat up front for us tomorrow night. I presume he probably will start. So, yeah, go on, sorry, Aaron.
This is one of the things that I was going to say about you guys is one thing that always terrifies me going into these kind of games, especially against local sides, is the former Chippenham player presence in your squad. We had Marlon Jackson, we had Rex Mannings, and I'm not sure how much of a playing involvement he has, but Chris Zabrowski as well was with us. So, look, whether they turn up and they feel like they've got a point to prove, because especially like a player like Rex, who was brought in and just didn't get much game time under the current management, and went out subsequently back out on loan. The joke I kind of have with other Chippenham fans is you always know who the first goal scorer is going to be in these games when you go up against former players. So who knows? But I hopeful, especially all the clubs kind of our corner of the country, the Gloucesters, Yates, Baths, us, all the players know each other, right? And hopefully that knowledge will rub off a little bit, that they know what to kind of expect from each other. But I think your lads will be well up for it, especially after a good win at the weekend against a side that you always expect to be towards the sharper end of the table, given their history.
Yeah, I think you make a good point there. I mean, everybody knows everybody, don't they, at this sort of level, because players tend to be from in and around the area. So, yeah, Rex has been brilliant for us again last season. You talk about Rex, I mean, like you say, if he's got the bit between his teeth tomorrow, then you'll have a problem, that's for sure. But yeah, the key thing for Yate is that we've retained quite a lot of players, and that's always a good thing. Obviously, Darren Mullins, the manager, has been in the club for a good few seasons now, so having that stability really does help. And we're sort of seeing the rewards of that already this season. I know, albeit it's only been one game, but you can see the style of football we play is quite passing out from the back. Try and avoid the long ball, and it's quite good to watch, to be fair. So whether we get a lot of the ball tomorrow night will be something we'll wait and see for. But yeah, if we do get it, then it should be good and easy on the eye.
No, absolutely. Darren is an ex-Chippenham man himself. I think he played a little more than a handful of games for us, probably less than a decade ago. So he would have played alongside or coached under Gary, our manager. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think two similar styles. We like to think we try and play football the right way, which might have been our undoing at times last season when we were trying to, desperately digging in games to try and get results. But that's definitely, at least for the first 30 minutes on Saturday before our red card, we certainly tried to keep a lot of possession. We were having a lot of joy against Uxbridge. Just weren't able to punish it once we had the 11 players on the field.
Yeah. No, cheers for Aaron. Well, we've kind of already moved towards the game, and I guess it sounds like it's going to be a good game of football. Two sides that want to play, want to pass the ball, I think probably just leaves us to come on to score predictions. So I'll ask you for yours first, Aaron. What are you thinking?
I've got to be an optimist. But also, this is coming from a Chippenham fan who lives away from the area, doesn't get to too many games, but hasn't seen us win in 18 months, just by the nature of the amount of games I get to go to and our form last year. So I'm hopeful that maybe we break my duck tomorrow, at the very least. Let's say it's a sneaky kind of 2-1. I feel like it's going to be two possession-based sides coming up against each other on a pitch, which I don't know how much water it's had of late. I think the photos in pre-season showed it to be green. I don't know if it's still green, given the lack of rainfall we've had lately. But yeah, let's go 2-1 Chippenham win, and we get up and running in the Southern League again.
Fair play for your positivity after 18 months without seeing a win. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair prediction. But I'll ask Frenchie what are your thoughts and results.
So Aaron, if you haven't seen Chippenham win for 18 months, I'm pleading you to go to the game tomorrow night. But I'm going to go with 1-1. I think Chippenham, after losing 2-0 in their opening game, I think they need to bounce back. They have allowed a lot of player turnover, so maybe Yate might be able to scrape something. But as you said, it's two similar styles of football. Hopefully, we can grab the win. But I'm gonna go with Chippenham 1, Yate 1.
You raise a fair point, and maybe I should stay away. Maybe
no, please don't.
Along.
Well, I think yeah, I'm going to be a little bit more negative. I think we said we did a podcast episode 1, and we talked about these sort of games between Chippenham, Bath, Gloucester, all these clubs that are up there. Obviously, with you guys getting relegated last season, you're going to need to get a win. It's going to have to happen at some point. You're at home. First game of the season, probably draw a big crowd. There'll be plenty of Yate fans down there. But I think I'm probably going to side with you, Aaron. I was thinking 2-1 Chippenham as well. I think we will score. I think we will break your defence. We've got some quality going forward and players that are in form. So, yeah, hopefully I'm proven wrong, but I think you could get a win tomorrow night, but we'll wait and see.
I could be wrong on this stat, in which case feel free to at me and tell me I'm wrong. But I don't think Yate have ever beaten Chippenham in the Southern League. Obviously, it's been a while since we played each other. I think it's 13 years. But in that time, we were duking it out regularly. I don't think we lost. So this is me touching every bit of wood around me and hope that we manage to maintain that record tomorrow night. But yeah, I think we're in for a good crowd. It's the best time of year to watch football, right? It's good weather. And especially it is a local derby and the one that's returning back to the fixture list after a decade away. So it should be a good one to come down to.
Well, I will say, just to end on a positive, that records are there to be broken. So let's hope Yate can scratch that one off tomorrow night.
I've dug myself far too many holes this podcast, so one of them is going to be wrong. I hope it's not that one, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I think that's pretty much covered it off. So thanks very much, Aaron, for joining us. Just to plug you again, it's the Sheldon End on is it X you're on?
X, yes. The Sheldon End. Semi-regular poster on there, more regular at the moment. I didn't have too much to talk about last season, unfortunately. That was glowingly positive anyway. So hopefully a little bit more action on there this year. And yeah, feel free to drop me.
I'm sure you'll start picking up a few results, and it'll give you a positive reason to get on there.
I won't be. I'll constantly be on there if we win a game. I won't believe it for this date for my record anyway.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll be following you. But yeah, thanks very much for coming on, and yeah, for everyone else, obviously it's the Bluebell Terrace, new fan channel for you. Just remember to like and subscribe, and keep an eye on the content. We're on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and catch you all in the next one.
Thanks all.
See ya.